Welcome! Today we are diving into something really fascinating, a story that is also a lesson. We're going to go on a quest for a sacred mirror, and on the way, we'll see just how an ancient myth can be an incredible tool for teaching a modern vocabulary. So let's just start with a huge question. Is it possible that an ancient story, a Japanese myth, could actually be one of the most powerful learning tools ever made? Well, we're about to find out. We're not just going to hear a story today, we're going to pull it apart and see how it's engineered to make new words stick in your brain for good. All right, let's get into it. We're going to deconstruct the myth of Amaterasu's sacred mirror and really uncover the hidden mechanics that can lock new vocabulary deep inside your memory. Now, here's what makes this so cool. This quest has a dual purpose. On one level, yeah, it's a heroic journey to get back a divine object, but look a little deeper. It's also a perfectly structured mission to learn 34 really powerful English words. Every single part of this quest is tied to a new word. You know, every great story kicks off with a problem, right? Well, here we start with the sun goddess Amaterasu and a massive crisis that throws her entire world into darkness. As we go, pay close attention to how the words we're learning don't just describe what's happening, they actually create the stakes of the story. See how these words are literally the building blocks of the entire world? The land loses its abundance, all its prosperity, because this villain, Kuro, acts with rancor, which is just this bitter, nasty hostility. And the result? It's not just sadness, it's a deep, dark gloom, a total disaster. And that leaves everyone in a terrible quandary, a seriously perplexing problem with no obvious solution. Each word builds the crisis. And here, the vocabulary itself practically draws the battle lines. Our hero, Kaede, is defined by her perspicacity, that's her sharp insight, and her gallantry, her noble courage. And on the other side, the yokai Kuro is driven by rancor, cupidity, which is an intense kind of greed, and just pure malice. So the fight between them is really a fight between the very words that describe them. It's brilliant. And this is her call to adventure. With this one sentence, Kaede accepts her mission. She's promising to face any menace, any threat, to bring back euphoria, that feeling of pure, absolute joy to her people. Her goal is now crystal clear, and it's defined by these two powerful words. So let's just quickly recap this first part. This first batch of words sets up the whole story. We have the lost brilliance of the mirror, the missing abundance, the central quandary everyone is in, Kade's defining gallantry, and Kuro's motivating cupidity. See? They're not just a list of words, they're the engine that makes the whole story go. Okay, the stage is set, and now Kaede starts her incredibly tough quest. You're going to see the vocabulary start to shift now. We're moving from words that describe a situation to words that define action, conflict, and strategy. So she gets to the Shrine of Shadows and she has to face a series of trials. Each one is tied to a specific word. First, she has to dodge these insidious, or, stealthy and treacherous traps. Then she has to fight the allurement, the temptation of treasure. And what's her weapon? She uses rhetoric to reveal Kuro's imprudence, his total reckless foolishness. So how in the world does she get past those insidious traps? It's not with brute force, it's with acumen. And the story doesn't just tell you what acumen means, it shows you her acumen in action. It's her sharp intelligence that lets her see through all the tricks and get through the danger. The word literally becomes a skill that she's using to survive. And her mind is her number one weapon. When Kuro tries to tempt her, Kaede doesn't draw a sword, she uses rhetoric. Her persuasive, powerful speech exposes his boastful pride, his vainglory, and that's what weakens him. The story actually turns an abstract idea like rhetoric into a real, powerful weapon she can use. Okay, so putting it all together for this part of the journey, this set of vocabulary is all about action and character. The traps are insidious, and she beats them with her acumen. She resists temptation with her steadfastness. Her weapon of choice is rhetoric, and the villain's big mistake, his fatal flaw, is his imprudence. Every word is directly connected to a moment of conflict.
And that brings us to the climax of the story. Kaede has made it through the traps and temptations, and now she's about to face her final test. And you'll see the vocabulary shift one more time. Now it's all about the moral virtues she needs to finally finish her quest.
Of course, the mirror isn't just lying there for the taking, it's being protected by a tengu, a pretty fierce guardian from Japanese folklore. And this final challenge, it isn't a test of how clever she is. It's a test of her character. It's all about proving that she is truly worthy. So in this final showdown, these abstract virtues become the actual keys to winning. She doesn't fight the tengu. She wins it over with contrition, sincere remorse. She proves her worth with her veracity, her complete truthfulness. She has to withstand its anger with her resilience, and she faces it all with boldness. The story literally turns these qualities into concrete actions. And so, using these virtues, she recovers the one sacred mirror. Its restoration becomes this powerful symbol of how wisdom and devotion together have this singular power to bring back the light. It's a simple, perfect image that really drives home the story's message.
So let's look at this last set of words, the vocabulary of the reward. Her contrition and veracity are what earn her the mirror. Her resilience is what gets her through that final trial. And the result? She gets the goddess's benevolence, her kindness, and she leaves a lasting heritage, a legacy for her people. These words are the story's moral and its happy ending, all rolled into one.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. We've gone on the journey, we've seen all this vocabulary in action, but now let's talk about the most important part. Why does this actually work? What is the secret sauce behind the incredible power of using a story to learn?
So what's the magic here? Well, when we learn words inside a story, they're not just random facts. They're attached to characters we care about, to emotions we can actually feel. The vocabulary is directly tied to an action and a consequence. Her acumen helps her dodge a trap. Her contrition calms down a guardian. A story provides this amazing context. It's like a mental scaffold that makes it so much easier for our brains to hang on to new information.
The source material's own conclusion really says it all. The moral of the story, that wisdom and devotion bring back the light, is also the very method it uses to teach. The wisdom of the story helps us devote the words to our memory. It's a perfect loop. So, I'm going to leave you with this to think about. We've just seen how one single myth can be this incredible vessel for knowledge. So what's the most important lesson, or maybe even just a single word, that a story has ever taught you? Really think about it. The answer might just show you how much we all learn through the simple power of a good story. Thanks for joining me.